Welcome to The Know, I'm Ben.
And I'm Adam.
We've got breaking news. The government is mad at video games. Again. Yes, once more lawmakers are wading into a subject area that they don't know much about, and this time they're accusing a game of being eco-terrorism. Seriously guys, you should consult your grandkids before saying anything on the subject.
Yes, from the days of Mortal Kombat fighters removing spinal cords from bodies, politicians have looked to video games whenever they need to wag their finger at something. So what's on the outrage agenda this time? Did Mario jaywalk or something? Question mark?
Caps. Well, in this case, it's a little-known PC game called Thunderbird Strike, where you play as this mythical bird as you fly across the northern United States and Canada. And in the game, you can use your magic lightning to destroy construction and oil equipment. Oh, and your lightning can also resurrect dead wildlife like buffalo and caribou. The game's website describes it as a 2D side-scroller where you fly from the tar sands to the Great Lakes as a Thunderbird, protecting Turtle Island with searing lightning against the snake that threatens to swallow the lands and waters whole. Okay, actually, I'm kind of down
That
for this.
sounds kind of dope. And that snake is a pretty clear metaphor for oil pipelines, which have been protested by many groups, including lots of Native American tribes in the region. The game has gotten some positive attention too. It has recently won an award for the best digital media at the Imaginative Festival in Toronto.
The game's designer, Elizabeth LaPonce, who is also a professor at Michigan State University, told The Verge, in the game, you see the pipeline form in the shape of a snake across a series of paintings, starting in the tar sands of Alberta, stretching across Canada and the Midwest, and wrapping around the lakes to the east. This is meant to mirror the great land-devouring snake, and it's hard to see the shape of the pipeline and its effects on our communities and walk away thinking it's just about jobs or economics.
And well, some lawmakers really don't like her game, and some even accuse it of encouraging real-life violence. Minnesota State Senator David Osmek described it as an eco-terrorist version of Angry Birds. And in an interview with the Associated Press, Toby Mack, the president of a Washington, D.C.-based energy organization that advocates for pipelines, said the game was designed to encourage eco-terrorism.
Other lawmakers were also upset that the game was made with grant money. Last year, the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund gave LaPonce more than $3,000 to create the game.
For her part, LaPonce said, the criticisms aren't true and those making them aren't even familiar with her game. In a tweet she wrote, I will not respond to media attempting to juxtapose me with a senator who hasn't even played Thunderbird Strike.
You need more senators playing video games. Putting the politics of the issue aside, it's pretty funny to hear lawmakers accuse a video game of being responsible for terrorism. Of course, this is hardly the first time we've seen lawmakers lose their shit over video games. Pretty much since the dawn of gaming, there's been outrage over them, and lots of the time it's ginned up by people seeking publicity.
Way back in 1992, there was all kinds of controversy over games like Night Trap, which used full motion video to show teenage girls getting murdered by vampires, which is pretty cool. And of course, Mortal Kombat, which helped set the standard for blood and violence in video games.
The outrage over adult content in games became such a big deal that senators in the US even held hearings about video games, and that led to the creation of the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, which of course now rates games.
Of course, the ESRB didn't stop violence in video games, but it did create a mature rating for games with violent content so that parents could keep their young children from seeing fatalities and headshots. But that didn't stop people from whining about video games they didn't like. Through the years, franchises like Doom, Duke Nukem, and many, many others would also be denounced by politicians or parent groups who scream, "Think about the children!" in front of any reporter who would listen.
More recently, Modern Warfare 2 drew a lot of controversy for a playable level where you carried out a terror attack in an airport. Forget eco-terrorism, that game actually lets you play as a terrorist.
Yeah,
just
but
straight up
if
terrorist.
you're not a monster, you can actually just not shoot anyone and no one will fucking notice. That's actually an achievement. Video games have even made entire cities mad. Political leaders in New York weren't pleased about their city being depicted as Liberty City in Grand Theft Auto 4 a few years back. A spokesperson for Mayor Michael Bloomberg said at the time that the mayor does not support any video game where you earn points for injuring or kill police officers. Another city leader called New York the safest big city in America and compared putting Grand Theft Auto 4 in New York as being like setting Halo in Disneyland. That would be an awesome game.
That would be.
Thanks for the suggestion, Mr.
Yes,
Guy.
patent that right now. So yeah, it's nothing new for a government official to get mad at a video game. Of course, in doing so, there's the chance of giving a lot of publicity to something that you don't like. After all, would you have ever heard of a game called Thunderbird Strike on the PC? At the end of the day, the best solution is probably the oldest one. If you don't like a game, just don't play it.
What do you guys think of a video game being called eco-terrorism? Let us know in the comments below.
And for all of your video game news, be sure to like this video, subscribe to The Know. And in the game, you can use your magic lightning to destroy construction and oil equivalent. Equipment, gotcha.
It's Leviosa.
Leviosa. The game's designer, Elizabeth
Really don't like her game and... is that me? Hold on.